Technology has made our lives easier, and with each new year, gadgets are getting faster, slimmer, smaller, and more convenient. Every so often, there comes a gadget that changes the technology landscape and paves the way for more innovation, and one such product is the tablet. Gone are the days when the laptop was the ultimate companion of the busy professional. Nowadays, tablets are being whipped out in meetings, presentations, and lecture rooms all over the world. One cannot speak about tablets without mentioning Apple's iPad. This is the fastest selling and best-selling tablet in the world, with over 84 million units sold worldwide. In education, US Governor Pat McCrory is calling for more technology in North Carolina classrooms, signing 2 bills just this month to encourage digital learning. One bill directs funding away from textbooks in favor of things like tablets and iPads for students by the year 2017. Terry McGraw, CEO and chairman of McGraw-Hill, says that digitization of education is going to be the opportunity of the century. Our neighbors in South Africa have followed the example of a host of other countries. Schools have entire coursework and interactive textbooks downloaded onto iPads, and these have so far been rolled out to more than 180 institutions. The National School of Arts even has an iPad band. Advocates for this argue that teaching children in methods used in the 1950s is essentially preparing them for a world that has long passed. Tonight on First Issues, we explore the tablet phenomenon and other gadgets that make us doing our work all that much easier, as well as running our businesses. We speak to Itumeleng Gaborone, an Apple iPad expert, on how best to use this gadget for our business and for our work. Our other guest is Ruben Isaacs, a busy professional who has practical experience in using the iPad as an effective office tool. I'm Shadi Lindsay, and welcome to First Issues. We'll be joined later by my co-host Namitso Sibina, who will clue you up with her guest on how the humble mobile phone has revolutionized financial transactions. Welcome back to First Issues, as we discuss gadgets that make our business and work lives all that much simpler. While others are lugging a bulky laptop from meeting to meeting and through airports, you could be rushing through with a sleek tablet. With size and weight being in favor of the iPad, we asked our guest, what else are the advantages of a tablet?
It's very mobile, to say. We have laptops nowadays, mobile phones that can do similar to what computers can do, but the mobile aspect of an iPad or tablet per se gives you a great advantage over all these other devices.
An iPad is very important. It actually has simplified the life of business people. You have mobility of your office wherever you are. For example, if you have meetings, your iPad can sync with your Outlook in your office computer. And at the same time, as you're invited into meetings, you can accept or decline at your convenience wherever you are at a given time. So basically you have things like your emails, you can do your emails, you can surf the net, you can have your files stored in the cloud through iPad. What that means is that when you have some files at home, you can basically save them in the cloud and you have access to them at any time whenever you have connectivity through the iPad.
Don't let the looks and the size fool you. The sleek little gadget is not all play. Itumeleng shares with us how a busy professional can make the most of a tablet, more specifically the iPad.
You can basically do your word processing here. You can do your spreadsheets here. You can actually even do a full-out power presentation with the use of an iPad. You have adapters, plugs, Apple TVs that come to your aid that you plug in to your projector, and you can go full out and no one would realize you're doing a presentation on a device that's small.
Most people do not make use of the iPad to the full of its potential. We take basic things like probably reading an email, which is just one of the basic function of it. You can have your photo streaming out of in here. You can have your media streaming from the iPad, and you can use your iPad for data storage, which is one of the important functionality. The other thing is that an iPad is very interesting because you can use it as your remote control for all your TVs and all the gadgets that use remote control in your house. Instead of having multiple remote controls, you can actually sync all your devices to an iPad.
The ability to personalize one's iPad to one's needs is made possible through applications, more commonly known as apps.
With an iPad, and you probably into research, you have iBooks in there, which you could access from the iPad store, and you have multiple copies of your books on the shelf on your iPad, and you can read them as and when you feel like doing it. For IT professionals, you can have your iPad as basically your computer. You can store your data in your iPad. You can make use of the applications that are in there for editing. For instance, people who are in the film industry, they have softwares that they use for editing movies, videos, and that kind of a thing. That is all inclusive in an iPad because you can edit and sample your shots on the fly. So that's one of the most important areas that is not explored by most professionals. So you can see how scalable this product is.
What are apps and how do they work?
An app is, like the word application, it's a software. It's developed by a company, a group of people, etc., for a specific purpose. For instance, we're running F&B here. Instead of me having to run to the bank, take my money, transfer it to my granny's account, stand in the queues, I can sit here, just type in my code, I register. If I have my granny's details, put in her details, send her, and then she'll get the money.
We hope that our guest tonight has given you an idea of what you're missing if you're not already part of the tablet revolution. Stay tuned for my co-host Namitso Sibina as she takes you through the ins and outs of the humble mobile phone and what she can do more than just sending and receiving calls and messages.
Today, nearly half the world's population has access to mobile phones, having grown from fewer than 1 billion in the year 2000 to over 6 billion now, of which nearly 5 billion units are in the developing world. Many places are jumping straight from paper records to mobile information because they're getting cell phone towers before internet connections or even traditional phone lines. Africa is the continent with the most mobile phone users, topping the list with around 649 million subscribers, making it the most wireless region in the world. According to a former ambassador of the US to Nigeria, the developing world and emerging countries such as China and India are far ahead of the US and Europe in creating services available to mobile phone users, providing technology-based empowerment to customers who typically fall outside of formal sectors such as banking. This is made evident locally by mobile services that enable the sharing of airtime, the payment of bills, the receiving of bank balances, and of course, the sending and receiving of money. Farmers no longer need to travel hundreds of kilometers to pay workers at the cattle post. You can send parents and relatives money in an instant through a simple SMS. In this segment of the show, we speak to Aldrin Sivago to find out about how they are helping to bank the unbanked and the resulting benefits to the everyday Botswana. The cell phone was introduced into Botswana in the 1990s. Initially, all one could do was make simple phone calls. But since then, services have grown in leaps and bounds into the multifunctional devices we now own. One of the more recent developments in our use of the mobile phone has been the introduction of mobile financial transactions. And to begin, we ask our guest Aldrin Sivago how exactly this function works.
The mobile financial services, which is primarily financial transactions between a mobile phone and a mobile phone, it has got two dimensions. One being a person-to-person transaction, whereby a customer has to load money, electronic money, on their mobile phone, which is called a wallet. And then with that electronic money, they are able to send it to a friend or a relative. Now the other aspect is whereby after you have that money on your mobile phone, you can use it for payment of services.
How can the viewer at home get access to this service? What steps do they need to take?
The viewer has to register with any agent, and once they have registered, their account or wallet is opened, and at that stage they are able to load money onto their wallet, and then the game begins.
Could you demonstrate for us practically how one would move money from their wallet to their phone or to another person?
Now what needs to happen is, first of all, like we said, you need to have a wallet account to be able to operate the service. So I will dial the USSD access code, which is *173*1 and then a hash. I dial that. So the system is now accessed, and there are options there. Whether I want to send money, I want to do a cash out, I want to do airtime top up, I want to do a transfer. So what I'm going to do is a transfer from my bank account using my card to my wallet. And then I choose option number 1, which is card to wallet. Once I have entered all the details, it will then pop up a screen for me to confirm all the information that I have entered.
With more than 1.9 million subscribers from a total population of 2 million, to what extent have Botswana embraced the use of this service?
At this stage, it has not yet really taken off. The reason being that if you look at dealing with money, it has been associated with banks, and once you talk of money being available on cell phones, now it becomes a risk issue. They don't look at it as a commodity as such. They look at money as money. But now you see, with mobile financial services, we're actually trying to convert money into a commodity that you can use. Either you buy the money or you sell the money. So now, with the great populace, they have not really embraced it to that extent because of the trust issue. Now, what is critical is to bring that confidence to the customer by making sure that we bring on board a partner who is reputable around handling money, and obviously that is none other than a bank. Yes, so I think what we need to do is customers need to be educated more that as much as your money is electronic on your phone, the real money is sitting at the bank.
What innovations can we look forward to with regards to the use of financial transactions through our phones?
What we are going to see moving forward is a lot of utility service providers coming on board, subscribing to be able to use or accept mobile money as a mode of payment. I believe we will see that extending into even your retail shops, retail channels. It's all to do with convenience. The other aspect that we are going to see in terms of migration or innovation is integration, key integration to the core banking systems, so that again, the customer, from the convenience of their house, they are able to move money from their bank account to their wallet. Somebody may ask, why would somebody do that? Now, first of all, you may want to send money to somebody who is somewhere in the Bundus, in the cattle post, and the only access to money there is probably your spaza shop or a small bottle store, whatever. And that bottle store can be an agent which is capable of accepting electronic money. So now you send money, you move money from your account to your wallet, and then you are able to send from your wallet to whoever, wherever, and they can go and collect the money there.
Our guests shared with us exciting new possibilities with regards to this platform. We were eager to find out, however, what person-to-business services are currently available to users.
Currently is just the basic service which we call P2P transactions, and then there are some P2B transactions for subscription payments, whereby you pay your subscription, DSTV subscriptions, or you buy electricity, prepaid electricity. Now that's what is happening at this stage, and I think the next wave is going to be B2P, whereby salary disbursements, for example, a business customer, a business paying somebody who has given them some business. A typical example probably would be, say, for example, a farmer who lives far away and he took his cattle to BMC, and BMC needs to pay that customer. So they wouldn't need to have a bank account. The BMC can just pay into the customer's wallet. Or alternatively, if the customer has got a bank account, they will deposit into that customer's account. Then the customer will be able to access their money from their account into their wallet and then be able to cash it out at any agent.
It appears through our conversation with Mr. Sivako that the risk that some consumers perceive to be present in mobile financial transactions could be outweighed by the risk of actually carrying or entrusting your money to be delivered through other physical means. Welcome back to First Issues. In this segment of the show, we take a look at social media and the corporate world. Our observation has been that despite the growth of social media and its relevant disciplines in more industrialized nations, there appears to be general apathy and a lack of appreciation of the power of this platform for business. How many of our CEOs are on Facebook? How many have Twitter accounts? And how many can you find on LinkedIn? You would be disappointed if we were to tell you the numbers. To get a better understanding as to the usefulness of social media in business, we have a discussion with American startup business guru Andrew Morrison, who is in the country recently. Andrew alludes to the hype that has been built around the use of social media, but does assert that the phenomenon does have benefits for business.
There is a tremendous benefit. Basically, anytime you're faced with a task, you want to get in the habit of automating the task, delegating the task, or eliminating the task. And technology is simply a way to automate your task. So for example, if you have a task you'd like to be able to reach more people, let's suppose you have a number of cell phone numbers and you want to be able to send out a mass blast to everybody. Well, there's technology, there's some tools. And so here in Botswana, I have now a database of nearly 600 young people who I've trained how to start their own business. Well, guess what? I have their mobile number. So I could build a tool to allow me to do text messaging to all these individuals.